The long-running musical project consisting of duo Rob Brown and Sean Booth are back with a new album. They have amassed quite a copious body of work from their early days of melodic techno to experiments of acid funk to algorithmic abstract sound pieces, even helped usher in IDM during its infancy, so to say that they are highly influential is an understatement. On recent prior albums, they leaned into what I can only describe as beep beep boo bop music.
Beep boo boo bop boo boo beep.
Beep boo boo bop boo boo bop.
Beep boo boo bop. Beep boo boo beep. Boo boo bop.
And first time around listening to these albums, they are interesting, but they never held my attention long enough to warrant me ever coming back to them. On Signs, they supplied the track list with ample amounts of sonic soundscapes with dashes of IDM displaying a lot of drum loops, analog patterns, dense and scraped textures, methodical rhythms. So while the palette is wide and the technicalities of the record are highly refined, what matters is how the duo orchestrates and pieces songs together out of their materials, and for a good chunk of the record, they're able to do so. The 8-minute opener M4 LEMA is somewhat a harrowing start to the album with its dissonant drums and malleable atmosphere that keeps shifting from form to form. This is one of a slew of other tracks that focus more on emoting with pure sound rather than implementing intricate percussion rhythms. The track SCH.MEFD 2 is a good example of a fluid IDM song, but the soundscape focused tracks are the biggest highlights for me. F7 has these halogenic light keys that keep pinging off of each other. DESC features a continuous drizzling effect to it with the hard light keys. METAZ Form 8 sounds like an after effect of a nuclear fissure, has a somewhat celestial feel to it that I really like. GR4 sounds like I am slowly wading through an aurora borealis with how illuminated the track is, and the closer R, CAZT, feels like the bitter end of a cosmic adventure. These tracks make up the best moments on the album because of how sonically rich they are, because outside of these tracks the record can get bogged down by the underwhelming and inert tracks on here. AU14 is a track that exhibits a lot of micro rhythms, primarily through a high tempo drum pattern, but it really doesn't have a solid structure. It kind of just goes on and on until it ends. The bubbly SI00 really captured my attention on the first listen, but after hearing through it a couple of times, it lost its appeal to me, became more of a chore to listen to because of how static it was. TH Red A is the least interesting soundscape track here, with the sparse rushes of like modulated synths. In comparison to the rest of the track list, it's just very barren, and I got bored listening through PSIN AM because it really should not have been a 6-minute track. And that's another thing with the album, it's 11 tracks that is over an hour long, and some songs on here do not justify their excess runtime because of their lacking dynamics, so it can have a pretty hefty effect on the experience of the album. Overall, I enjoyed it quite a lot. The highlights are really memorable, and while it could have benefited from a bit of trimming, this is another solid addition to the duo's ever-growing discography. I'd give it a